Having paid a bitter price in the deadly strait, Odysseus and his crew arrive at their final test. The loss of 6 men still haunts them, yet the greatest tragedy of their journey is just beginning to unfold. Before them lies Thrinacia, a lush sanctuary where the sun god's sacred cattle graze. It is a land of beauty, but also a divine domain that mortal hands must never touch. Chilling prophecies from the underworld echo in the mind of Odysseus. Recognizing the fatal shores of his vision, he knows they must avoid landing at all costs to ensure their survival. Odysseus pleads with his men to sail past the island, but to a crew broken by the sea, this order feels like a death sentence, igniting a clash between foresight and exhaustion. The crew's obedience shatters under the weight of their physical limits. Their plea for rest forces a tragic conflict between their leader's judgment and the harsh reality of their exhaustion. The men argue that the island is safer than the stormy sea. Faced with this logic, even the iron will of Odysseus begins to waver. A fragile compromise is reached. They are granted a night on the shores, but with a terrifying ultimatum. The sacred herds of the sun god must remain untouched. Every man is bound by a solemn oath to leave the cattle alone. They agree to rely only on the ship's remaining provisions, hiding the danger behind a veneer of safety. What was meant to be a single night turns into weeks of imprisonment due to relentless headwinds, keeping the crew trapped on the shore. As the ship's stores run bare, the men are reduced to scavenging. The slow, agonizing grip of starvation begins to tighten its hold on the crew. Seeking solace in prayer, Odysseus falls into a deep slumber. It is in this unguarded moment that the seeds of their final tragedy are sown. Eurylochus preaches a ruinous logic to the starving men. He argues that it is better to face the wrath of the gods than to slowly die from hunger. Unable to overcome their hunger, the crew slaughters the sacred cattle. For a fleeting moment, relief washes over them, but their catastrophic fate is now set in motion. Awakening to the scent of roasting meat, Odysseus finds his worst nightmare realized. The fragile thread of their survival has been permanently severed. Supernatural horror unfolds as the roasting meat begins to groan. It is an inescapable omen that the eyes of the gods are upon them, and their fury is imminent. High above, the sun god erupts in rage over his desecrated sanctuary. He delivers a cosmic ultimatum to Zeus: strike down the mortals who defied him, or the sun will shine only upon the dead in the underworld. As if mocking their fate, the month-long gales finally die down. The crew scrambles aboard and rows away from the cursed shores, but their escape is a cruel illusion. The sky rips open as Zeus answers Helios' demand. A blinding thunderbolt strikes the vessel, obliterating the ship and leaving the crew to the mercy of the churning waves. Odysseus is the sole survivor, clinging to a shattered mast. The prophecies have aligned, and he is now left completely and terrifyingly alone. Stripped of his fleet and hope, Odysseus drifts into the unknown sea. A new chapter of solitary survival begins, as the currents pull him toward his long captivity on Calypso's island.